are additional regulations for some new downtown developments designed to make it more convenient for employees to ride their bikes to work. The issue, letting people know where the empty spaces are located just as they're arriving downtown. Yoga is believed to have a calming effect on adults who practice it, and it apparently works on babies too. This bronze sculpture, in the shape of a tree and covered with ceramic butterflies, is a reminder of the 1.5 million children murdered by the Nazis during the Holocaust. It's something 93-year-old Holocaust survivor Eva Fellner thinks about every day. Forced into a concentration camp at age 13, Eva managed to live to tell about it.
We survived because God gave us the strength.
Many other Jewish children Eva knew back then did not make it, and she's haunted by those memories to this day.
Listen, how can I tell you? My cousin had a baby, and she went with the baby. Do I have to tell you more? I tell you another one. We went through the gate of hell into Auschwitz.
Eva hopes this sculpture will remind others of the young lives cut so short during the Holocaust. Artist Bruce Gendelman enlisted the help of area kids to create it. They painted the butterflies that cover nearly every inch of the piece as part of the Butterfly Project designed to teach people about the Holocaust. The sculpture is now the centerpiece of an educational program they're holding here at the Morse Life Senior Community, home to more than 40 Holocaust survivors.
And they'll hear from a Holocaust survivor or descendant from a Holocaust survivor telling their story.
The sculpture debuted during a candlelight ceremony, with many seeing it for the first time, children especially fascinated by the butterflies. It's hoped those butterflies and this beautiful bronze tree will keep the memories of those who died in the Holocaust alive in our hearts and keep the promise to survivors like Eva Fellner that even in these troubled times, it will never happen again. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. Houston resident Donna Hopkins is glad to be back in West Palm Beach for the first day of spring training.
Standing here listening to the crack of the bat, that does it for me.
For diehard Astros fans like her, it's been a long off-season.
We've had withdrawal symptoms from baseball.
Donna is one of the many Texans who flock to Florida every spring to watch the Astros get ready for the regular season. She'll stay for the duration, renting an Airbnb and working on her autograph collection nearly every day.
Got 3 autographs today already.
You may remember Donna from last year when she worked her magic to get most of the players to stop and sign.
They were here yesterday and I told them I was going to sign for them. So
You're a good guy.
I kept my promise.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Rebecca Mosley is also on a mission. She wants to get another selfie with a minor league player she's been following who's now a major league prospect.
He's cute.
Rebecca's sister and brother-in-law are both along for the ride. They grew up in Houston but live here now and still root for the Astros.
Great winning team, winning atmosphere. If you grew up in Houston, it's your guys.
Of course, on the other side of the field, the Washington Nationals, who share the park, are also warming up. They're doing so in a park with a new name. Now called Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches, it's been rebranded to include the new sponsor's hard seltzer label. Cacti's owned by rapper Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner's ex-boyfriend, will be throwing out the first pitch. But all of that is just background noise to these fans. For them, this is what it's all about. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.
I can't stand us.
73-year-old William Schwenzer is disabled after being hit by a car. It was that accident and a series of other setbacks that led to him losing his home and winding up on the streets.
I just couldn't hang it. I don't know.
Just things happen. And William's situation is not unique here at St. Anne Place, where those experiencing homelessness go for help.
St. Anne Place can help you.
Many of the client's circumstances seem overwhelming. Steve McDonald says he's suffering from terminal cancer, but unable to afford an apartment, Steve sleeps wherever he can.
I sleep under a building, a garage overhang that keeps me dry.
Is it scary?
Yeah, I've been robbed twice. I got police reports and everything else. It's scary for all of us, not just me.
It's stories like those that tend to keep Mary Manuel and Raven Green up at night. You get upset just listening to him talk, I notice.
I did like I ain't supposed to.
You're supposed to keep it together.
Yeah, I was supposed to, because he almost broke down like 3 times, and then I'm like, I gotta keep my focus.
Because as members of the City of West Palm Beach's homeless outreach team, it's their mission to get as many people as they can off the streets and into permanent housing.
You got an opening, I'll take it.
Mary used to work at the Lewis Center, which provides temporary shelter to homeless people. What she's doing now is much more comprehensive.
Okay, so the care manager that she was referring to that's going to contact in 2 weeks, did I misunderstand that?
She and Raven sometimes spend days, weeks, even months trying to line up housing, health care, and other critical needs for clients like William.
He don't want to go to shelter, but he want to get off the street right now today. Then he don't want a roommate. It's a lot of things that he don't want and things that he do want, but I'm still trying to figure out, something. Hopefully one of these phone calls I could hear something, some good news.
The number of people needing services far outweighs the funding available to provide them. So many of the team's clients wind up waiting in line, especially for housing.
It's hard to find housing because of the cancer, and nobody will accept me.
30-year-old Andre James says for the past couple of years he's been sleeping outside and showering here. He'd like to hit the reset button on his whole life with a new apartment and a new job. But so far, no luck.
They reached out to several places, but still nothing.
It's very frustrating for Andre and also for those who are trying to help him.
We take everything with a grain of salt, and you just let it roll right off of you when it happens. Because if you don't, it'll potentially build up and you won't be able to do this job.
Raven and Mary say they'll just keep plugging away, doing all they can to get their clients' lives back on track. And those who depend on the team hope they never stop.
Don't give up on us.
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.
Latinos Unidos.
Protests like this one erupted coast to coast after Florida Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis signed into law one of the toughest crackdowns on undocumented immigrants in the country.
No SB 1718.
Hundreds of demonstrators marched across downtown streets past Hispanic-owned businesses that had been closed for the day in protest. They rallied in front of West Palm Beach City Hall and the Palm Beach County Courthouse, gathering supporters along the way.
Because I'm Hispanic and I want to support them.
Among the law's provisions, stricter employment requirements that will allow state authorities to conduct random audits of businesses suspected of hiring undocumented workers, and increased criminal penalties for human smuggling with felony charges for those caught transporting someone from any other state into Florida. 17-year-old Sheryl Tomas, whose parents immigrated to South Florida from Guatemala, is distraught about the new law.
Both of my parents are immigrants, and I've seen that we've been fighting for a very long time, and this is just a setback, so it really hurts.
Sheryl says the current political climate in her home state makes her very nervous.
It has become scary. It wasn't like this.
The law goes into effect July 1st. Protesters promise to voice their opposition to it up until that day and beyond.
Latinos Unidos.
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.
Don't get close at me. Don't.
Dealing with stressed out residents upset about hurricane damage, even wanting to take matters into their own hands.
Hey, I got it. They don't want to move. I do it.
All part of the job facing crews who are trying to clear the streets and get things working again after a big storm. In this case, these are actually city employees role-playing during a hurricane drill.
We have just been through a major hurricane.
Let's move further out of the zone, please.
But what they're reenacting is not far from some of the real-life scenarios that have played out in the aftermath of hurricanes and other disasters.
Team reported that a citizen helped themselves to their chainsaw, so they no longer have a chainsaw.
Learning how to do their job safely and keep calm while under pressure and exhausted was a big part of the exercise.
Our biggest job is not only this part where we're doing first push and we're doing life-saving operations. Our other job is to communicate, and we want to make sure that we get those communications out there so everybody knows what's going on, and that way they don't get upset when we're not communicating with them.
This drill covered just about every situation, with fake snakes planted in tree stumps, flooded streets, a victim who needed to be extricated from a crushed car, and a downed live power line in the middle of the street. Crews and firefighters took the drill seriously, cleaning everything up and putting things back in order. When it was all said and done, they went over what went well and what still needs work.
Could be a small thing now, could be a big thing later. Walking around with the chainsaw, make sure you have the blade behind you, not in front of you.
The crews will continue training as the clock ticks towards hurricane season. So while we all hope to be spared the worst of it once again, just in case we aren't, they'll be ready.
The hurricane season is June 1st, right around the corner, so now's the time to prepare.
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.